G'day Australia, I'm in the brand new Dmax to show you how to do a plug and play amplifier install to boost the audio power that's coming out of the factory head unit. The factory head unit is great, it's a huge, big, beautiful interface, but it lacks power to push and pull a good aftermarket speaker properly. We've got other install videos showing the aftermarket speaker upgrade process in the Dmax. We've got some great plug and play kits available. And to get them sounding correct, you want to add power to the head unit to put a small little compact amplifier in there. We're going to put a plug and play amp in behind this factory head unit. We've got Focal, Alpine, Sony, Kenwood options, and some bigger MTX options as well. All of these amps are going to plug and play at the back of the head unit, so you don't have to solder any harnesses or cut into the factory wiring at all. It takes all the mystery out of it for you. It's going to be plug and play and have you installed very, very quickly. And we're going to be able to apply some good power to get these speakers pumped. Now, the way to get this out, I'm going to show you how to uninstall this here today. Let me tell you the good news. Yes, this comes out. Pretty easy to access, pretty conventional. However, the bad news is it's a bit difficult. The clips in behind this panel are grabby. They're grabbier than Uncle Jeff after a few drinks. This thing is very difficult to get out, and you do need to be very careful with it so as not to damage the panels around the edge or the actual panel itself. You don't want to put too much pressure on this screen, it could crack. So you're going to need a very good quality panel removal tool. We have these for sale on the website universalfuse.com. There'll be links below to the good quality panel removal tools. You will need this. You don't want to use a steel tool or a screwdriver. You'll just hack the shit out of your dash. Not good. You can't use a cheap one of these either. It won't have the strength to apply enough pressure to get the clips out. You need to use a hook style one, a hook end like this, and you're going to hook in across the top first. From the left or the right, doesn't really matter. I like to start from the left. Now, I've already pre-loosened this one to show you how it comes apart easily. Otherwise, you just hear me swearing and carrying on, trying to get the damn thing out. It is very tight. You want to grab here, and you need to lever that hook down and in and press the panel outwards. There's a clip hook here, here, in the center, here, and another one at this side. Once you get those top ones free, you'll be able to leverage the other ones out a little bit better, and the ones at the bottom are particularly grabby. So get your hook tool in across that top level and layer, and you'll be able to pull that panel out. Then maybe using your hands or a gloved hand, you can gently get in these little corners and pull the rest out with your fingers, because like I said, you need to be careful with this. Then you'll be able to lift that screen out and unplug the two connectors at the back there. I've already pre-done that just for the sake of the video, and you'll be able to lift this screen away and put it aside for safekeeping. Now we've exposed the head unit, and this is all pretty conventional from here on in. You've just got 4 Phillips head fasteners on either side there, and you can pull the head unit out to release the clip for the main harness. This is the main harness here that I've already unplugged from the back of the unit. Just got the single clip that you need to release to pop that out of the back of the unit. Let me show you the back of the unit just so you know what's going on there. So the main harness plugged in there, pretty easy to access. Press down that clip and you'll be able to remove the plug, and then you can drop that back into the dash so that it's not marking anything and that it's in a safe spot. And then we've got access to this plug and play harness, which is where we're going to plug in our plug and play interface in just a moment. I'll show you that in a sec, but another thing I want to point out too is this great neoprene mat that we put on the dash before we start work. Every time we put a mat down on the dash to make sure that you don't drop any tools or components, and it protects the dash. These are also available from the website, link below. Get yourself a good set of tools, or at least put a towel or something over the place that you're working so you can't mark your car. You want to take good care of it while you're working on it. All right, let me grab the ISO plug and play adapter and I'll show you the next step. All right, get excited about this next step. What I have here in my hand is the plug and play interface harness for the new Isuzu Dmax for the Focal Compact Amplifier. This thing is 60 watts RMS by 4, which is pretty solid, and the type of topography they've used on the amp circuit board has allowed for the performance of similar to, well, the same as a conventional old school amplifier. It's not like some of the other micro D-class amps like the Alpine one, which says 45 RMS by 4, but it just doesn't have the grunt. This is a different type of amplifier, different type of amp design that's giving you full quality 60 watt RMS by 4 power. It pushes and pulls the speakers very well. It's very clean. and you're going to be able to install that without a fuss with the plug and play Isuzu Dmax amplifier harness. I'm not entirely sure if these are available elsewhere. We make these in-house at the AudioCom stores, but you might be able to buy this sort of thing from somewhere else and be able to plug and play this to your Isuzu Dmax. So this amp's quite compact, which means we can fit it almost anywhere. It doesn't have to mount under the seat like an old conventional amplifier. There's actually a big spot right under the audio unit here, which we're going to be able to cable tie it into place. So we're going to plug in this harness into that plug that we isolated and exposed before. So one end goes into that harness, the other end goes into the back of the head unit. You can see there it's got the replica plug, and then that will allow the input and output signal to come in to this amplifier, then be amplified and pushed back out again, stronger and more powerful and cleaner than before. And then we're going to be able to mount this amp up. So I'm going to plug it in and then show you where we mount it. All right, for everyone doing this at home, just a quick note before you mount this in and away. You have a handful of controls and adjustments on the back of the amplifier here, and on the end of the amplifier too, those two little brass potentiometers and this little switch. Now, a couple of things you will have to adjust to get optimal performance out of this. First of all, you definitely need to change that little end switch to the high level input. It's set to high or low. It comes preset from the factory at low. You need to switch it to high. Now, these end little controllers are the gain controllers. They limit the input-output voltage ratio. So depending on which head unit you're connecting to and which speakers you're connecting to, sometimes they need some adjustment. For this application, fitting to the Focal aftermarket speaker pack for Dmax and installing with this Focal head unit, we recommend setting them to about 1/4 gain. It's a good balance for this little setup. We've tested that on the oscilloscope to find the sweet spot. Now, with the bottom connectors, there's a few variables here. These little switches here will change the crossover settings, which is all indicated on the back. These two little gain controllers here, these potentiometers will change the frequency that it's crossed over at. Now, if you leave these on full, which is their factory setting, it will amplify all frequencies, and you'll probably find that it will amplify the low frequencies a little bit too much, and you'll get a bit of audible distortion because it'll be amplifying right down to 20 Hertz, which is kind of lower than the speakers are designed to operate at. You get them performing really well from about 60 to 80 Hertz and up. So I recommend switching the amplifier to high pass for the front channels. Oops, sorry, move the camera there a bit. High pass on the top one for the front channels, which sets the crossover for the front speakers at 75 Hertz, which is good. It's not producing anything lower than 75 Hertz. It'll tighten sounds up a little bit, help prevent rattles in the doors. Now, the other two switches here, you want to set to high pass filter for the rear as well. That's the second dip switch down, and then you want to leave the bottom switch as it is. That's 3/4 input select, which is correct for this application. Then you want to set that bottom potentiometer, which adjusts the frequency of the rear channels. You want to bump that up to around about 70 or 80 Hertz as well. The lowest setting is 40 Hertz, the highest setting is 200 Hertz, and set that at around about the 80 to 90 Hertz, and that'll limit the low frequencies that are going to your rear speakers, which will prevent them from having audible distortion at those really low frequencies which they're not built to run. And that'll get you all pre-configured correctly to get this tucked away and to get your amplifier pumping. Now we're going to cable tie this into position, and then we can reassemble. Alright, you can see where we've mounted the amp in there. There's a huge factory heavy duty harness. It's the main dash harness in behind there, and it's strong enough and bold enough. You can kind of see the harness down there a little bit. It's strong enough to cable tie that amplifier to, so that amplifier is now secure and won't rattle around in the back of the dash. As you can see, all the harnesses is now interceptor harness, wrapped in cloth tape, which helps reduce rattles as well. Now we're able to put all this back in for a power up test. Little footnote for everyone doing this one at home. On the interceptor harness is a ground wire. You must ground this ground wire to the body of the vehicle. The head unit mounting points are a great location. You will not get audio if you don't ground that wire, so make sure you ground that one out. Congratulations, you've just completed a massive audio system upgrade to your new Dmax. Hopefully you've done both the speaker upgrade that you can see in the background and the amplifier upgrade for a full system upgrade package. This is a great pack, gives you very, very premium audio. This will far outperform any factory audio, upgraded audio system, even the things like the JBL synthesis or the Infinity packs that you get in some of the Euro vehicles. This is a very, very beautiful set of gear. The Focal products are amazing. Built and designed in France, very, very good quality stuff. And with this plug and play install and interface, you'll be able to integrate it to your Dmax very easily and get a really, really good result. We hope this video has been helpful, and we hope you've got all this done and had a really, really good audio result. If you get stuck or if you have any trouble with this, see your local audio specialist. You can look up our huge network of Car Audio Masters specialist stores Australia-wide. Just Google Car Audio Masters and it'll take you straight to the website, and you can find your local Car Audio Masters store if you need a hand with any of this, or you can come and see us at Audiocom stores in Western Australia, and that can give you a little bit of help and guidance if you get stuck with any of these install factors. Otherwise, congratulations on DIYing a fantastic upgrade for your car. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you again real soon.